Meghan Markle's PR people put out this photo after Archofficial was born. They pretended like it was really Archie, but the newspaper did some digging, and they discovered that it was fake news. The Sun newspaper decided to expose Meghan's lies, and all hell let loose. And so now there's no media outlet in all of Britain who can accuse her of lying when it comes to telling the world that she really did give birth to the two invisible children. So after the photo was published, the news came out that actually it had been shared 2 weeks earlier on the Instagram page of a fitness instructor named Bella Kraus. She is a German mother, and recently she gave birth to Maddox Nino. She was furious when the Sun newspaper broke the news to her that her baby had been used in this hoax. She said, "What insolent behavior." But unfortunately, it was too late. People who believe anything that comes from Meghan's mouth were gushing, "Oh, he looks so beautiful, such a healthy-looking boy. They must be so proud of him." And then another said, "He is so precious. Their son is beautiful." And another comment was, "He is so adorable." Now, there is always an element of at an arm's length in anything about them that makes it into the public domain. They just plagiarize other people's stories and experiences, and then they steal photos of kids, and they cut and paste whatever they believe is going to be missing because they think that's going to give them some credibility. I couldn't help but notice there's no record of them calling this out as fake news. They just let it lie there for the naive and the gullible to gush over, and if directly challenged and pushed into an answer, they act like they're the big victims of some scam and that this whole thing had nothing to do with them. This is their MO. We've noticed that. This is the type of thing they do all the time. So here is what we know. No doctor ever signed off as a witness to the birth. They claim that a particular doctor had delivered the baby but was busy at a conference on the day and didn't have hospital privileges where they claimed the birth took place. I mean, pretty interesting, though, how little care they took with this geriatric pregnancy and the delivery of a royal grandchild. I think the Queen would have taken more care with a pregnant dog and the delivery of some puppies. There must have been absolutely no gossip in London about who that lucky doctor was. When Her Late Majesty the Queen went to Frogmore Cottage to see the newborn, the Queen was always the first one to get to see the newborn grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Either they just closed the door in her face and wouldn't allow her to come in, or they refused to answer the door. She never got to see the newborn archofficial. The christening photo was obviously faked, and by that time, they could have easily hired a baby to be the actor. So I think we can say that little by little, the royal family started to figure out what was going on, and they started to question whether or not Meghan had ever even been pregnant. See, medical records are confidential. Even if they were convinced that no pregnancy had occurred, it's not like they could easily reveal another person's confidential medical information without breaking the law. Maybe they were just hoping that Harry and Meghan would have the good conscience to be honest, but obviously those hopes were disappointed. Her Majesty the late Queen did not, however, add Harry's kids to the line of succession until Parliament requested that she do so. Maybe she preferred not to, but how could she have refused without revealing information that was protected by privacy laws? I don't believe the royal family was complicit in all of this, not at all. What I think is that by the time they found out the truth, they couldn't figure out a legal way to make the situation obvious. And now Charles has to be the one to deal with this whole mess. As much as he just wants this problem to disappear, it is not going to. Now, Charles could come clean and admit that they were all tricked and they just didn't know what to do. Or he could remain quiet and he could lose the respect of the remaining monarchists and leave the problem for William to finally deal with. Maybe Charles does not understand how his appropriate and just decisions and actions are necessary for the health and the continuation of the monarchy. Most people are supportive of him now, but if he keeps on seeming like a dithering and weak old man, people are going to take a step back from him. Whatever is decided, the truth has to come out. Otherwise, it makes everybody in the UK look as dumb as Harry and Meghan do. I think it is only when William takes the throne that Harry and Meghan are finally going to be dealt with once and for all. The fact is, there were hundreds of them who must have given Meghan confidence. They gave her the oxygen she was so desperate for. She knew the public would believe her every last word. Her life is just a big game to her. She puts out her truth, and then she just sits back with that smirk on her face as naive people lap it up. The Sun newspaper tried their best to put a stop to her shenanigans, but they were not allowed to continue with their quest. One commenter weighed in, saying that the tweeter says she paints dolls and recognized it as Darren intrigued me enough that I just forensically analyzed the Archie being introduced to the world video in the hallway with the white dress. That was from the same time that the image of Archie in this tweet came from. What I found is Archie doesn't move once in the video. No breath, no lip movement, no involuntary movement, so in the interest of science, I checked the Wales Kids introduction videos, and each child moved. Hand spasms, lips moved, eyes or head moved. Even Charlotte, who was asleep, had some involuntary head movement. Surely this charade can't continue for much longer. Too many people can't be wrong. My thing is, it's going to get harder to fake someone's existence as time goes on. If there were no kids, what would their plan be for when their supposed kids are in their teens, 20s, and apparently out in the world on their own? Unless part of the theory is that they are going to stage a death for the kids at some point, which would also be a logistical nightmare to navigate, so they can stop pretending I don't see it. In another case, these kids do exist. They were by surrogacy. I have no problem with people using surrogates, but my problem is when someone fakes their pregnancies. Hola, pepinos! Hillary Baldwin is the main one for this. She's had square bumps and after giving birth is back in tight-fitting clothes doing stupid yoga poses. This is what I have an issue with. Don't lie about having a baby. If you don't want a child to ruin your fabulous body, okay, that's your choice. Celebs have done and continue to do that, but at least own up, be classy about it. The monarchy is archaic, but someone must be aware that surrogacy exists. I'm not a fan of Meghan. I can see her lying about carrying the babies mainly because she is vain. Also, controlling access to them is all about power for her, and she loves that. And an expert also makes an interesting point, saying, I've always believed they used a surrogate. Those baby bumps were all over the place, and we've all seen the famous video of the baby bump falling off Meghan. But I've always believed there are children. And found it quite interesting. I know we all dismiss this because it makes us seem crazy, unhinged, and absolutely mad. But it really was an interesting read. Who even knows? A tweet stated that Archie was born prematurely and in intensive care, so the doll was wheeled out to present a perfect baby. I don't know. I'm not sure I believe it. But at this point, it wouldn't even surprise me. Also, apparently in 2006, Meghan's dad gave an interview stating that she had a hysterectomy after a pregnancy, but there's been no source provided. What do you think of Meghan Markle's suspicious children? And has she lied to the world about her pregnancy? Let us know your thoughts below in the comments section. We hope you have found this video helpful. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll be back to see you in the next videos. Bye bye now.